Welcome back. We're live at OR Tambo International Airport. This, of course, is the center of where we saw several delays for hundreds of passengers. That's because the Civil Aviation Authority found irregular findings regarding certain aircraft. They grounded those aircraft, but things are slowly returning to normal. Not just yet, though, because some flights are still delayed. Let's get more information now from the Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula. Minister, thank you for your time and thanks for staying there for us. I asked you that question earlier, whether it was safe for South Africans to fly this afternoon. I know you answered it, but let's talk about these irregular findings that the CAA discovered.
Yes, the irregular findings in detail will be related to by CAA in relation to the irregular findings, and those irregular findings have been communicated to the technical team in terms of those who are responsible for giving technical mechanical support to our airlines, but over and above that, all the airlines also, they are well aware of these technical findings and they need to respond to that. And they've developed a detailed plan in terms of responding to those. Failure to respond to those, of course, action will have to be taken one way or the other. And that includes grounding, among others, in terms of some of the airlines. For the rest of the passengers and the operators, details of times in terms of those who could be inconvenienced must be properly communicated. But this is normal in terms of addressing safety. Yeah. On the basis of the reports that we have acted on, the regulator acted on, that have been published widely in the media of bogus parts on some of our airlines.
Now, if proper safety checks were not conducted, that means that there was a risk of these airlines possibly having issues while they're up in the air, putting hundreds of lives at risk. Should there not be consequences now?
Well, there will be consequences in relation to that, most definitely. And the findings have raised the issue of airworthiness of some of the airlines. They sampled 2 aircrafts which raised issues in terms of airworthiness, and that is the strength of our checks and balances. So if we were in another world, this would have never been detected. If it were detected, nothing would have been done. But our checks and balances and our regulator, strong position, ensuring that we're not going to run down the lives of our people, safety first. So that is what is important. Yes, people will be inconvenienced. All of us were on that train of being inconvenienced, but it is done in the best interest of maintaining safety for all our people. So there's no need to basically get into a state of frenzy. Of course, people get inconvenienced, but it's with the commitment to ensure that when you board that airline in South Africa, everybody feels safe.
Yeah. Minister, how can you be so confident now, knowing that the CAA found that proper safety checks were not conducted and actually went as far as grounding those flights? That's why people have every right to be frustrated and panicked.
It's not that I'm not saying that anyone should not be concerned. I'm saying action has been taken, and in this particular regard, the regulator have acted quite, properly in this particular instance. And so I'm saying to all South Africans, let's brace ourselves for a temporary inconvenience where it can happen, but it is for a good reason. So the reason why we communicate is because we can't be absent in a situation where people feel panicky and at the same time they are inconvenienced and everything is in a state of frenzy. Everything is being done in the best interest of maintaining our standing as a country in terms of a destination which is safe on air, and any bogus activity reported will never be left unattended to. Stricter and consequence management will be imposed in the context of the checks and balances that we've got, and SACA has acted quite correctly in ensuring that our airlines don't take us for granted and we don't stay in our position of comfortability to think that everything is normal. One day an airline can crash on air and then the questions will be asked. We're doing what needs to be done and we believe that very soon everything will be back to normality.
Minister, two questions for you, and very quickly, please, if you can respond to these quickly. Just in terms of South African Airways technical, this, of course, will raise, the alarm for ComAir in particular, who hires SAA technical to look after their aircraft. That could mean that they could pull out, and that could ultimately mean SAA losing more money. And we know that SAA cannot afford to lose more money.
You are right. We're just coming in to address what is happening. The consequence management and what is going to happen going forward, whilst all the work has been finalized and airlines have reacted fully and so on, we should be able to communicate further measures that will be taken in relation to any financial loss that could have been incurred as a result of recklessness, if there is, and if there is any bogus activity that has been detected, obviously action must be taken. And of course, as a government, we would want to see consequent management that hold people accountable by means of ensuring that if it means heads must roll, heads must roll. That's what is important.
And I'm going to check in with you in a month's time to see if heads have rolled.
We put these checks and balances in place to address all of these issues. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll check in a month to see whether heads will roll, Minister. But very quickly, you're in Cape Town. You're going to fly back to Johannesburg anytime, I'm sure. Will you feel safe on that flight?
My safety is guaranteed in the sense that no flight will be on air in the skies of South Africa without any guarantee that it carries people safely home. And myself, including all South Africans, I was inconvenienced and continue to be inconvenienced, but for the best interest of safety. So we're marshalling everything to ensure that there is safety, but everything it is done in the context of maintaining our safety position in the context of civil aviation in the Republic of South Africa.
All right, thank you so much. I heard your hesitation at the beginning there, Minister, but of course you're doing your job. You have to do that political spin for us. Thank you for your time. That is Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula.